Now to carry forward this program, first of all, I invite Dr. Sarvesh Mani Tripathi, our distinguished speaker, to come and give his thoughtful lecture. Dr. Sarvesh Mani Tripathi is the Director School of Languages, CSJM University, Kanpur, and he has completed his DPhil from University of Allahabad. Before joining CSJM, he gave his services as Assistant Professor in the Government Degree College. He has expertise in British drama, fiction, and post-colonialism. More than 15 articles have been published in UGC care-listed journals. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate Halim Muslim PG College for this, great, insightful event. I'm very sure that, our students will get benefited out of these lectures, because it is a topic where we need to have lots of discussions. I congratulate Principal Madam, all the faculty members, Dr. Samim, and all the students, and express my thanks for giving me this opportunity to address you all. See, it's a kind of subject which has always been tabooed in our, in culture. People get, apprehensive about talking, sexuality. But as Freud says, that sexual desires are ultimate, ultimate driving force of all human endeavors. Somehow we can't escape, sexuality. And the whole world is constructed in a way that sexuality is fundamental thing that leads the humanity forward. So obviously we can't avoid discussing and understanding sexuality, and those societies who try to suppress these desires turn out to be suppressive societies. I will start my lecture with Dr. Samim's point, where he says, quoting Derrida, that the world is understood in binary opposition. Obviously Derrida very famously talks about, and we are all familiar with those points, day and night, and life and death, and all, black and white. Here this term also comes in, man and woman. And what Derrida says further is the first term gets privileged. Here man also gets privileged. Because you see, in English literature or in Indian society, we find man for the field and women for the hearth, man for the war and for the needle, she. It's always been a kind of mindset, though the justifications might be different, but the point was the same, that man is for the battlefield, man is for the winning the bread, and women are there to get all the domestic things done. Sometimes it is justified in the name of physical attributes, in the name of mental attributes, and sometimes in the name of family honor. You see, what I understand with my limited knowledge or understanding is that when we made sexuality a taboo, and we attached this topic to family honor and stopped talking about them at these points in public, the suppression and discrimination against women started. What we did, in the name of family honor, we started keeping our ladies, our women into the family, and then started privileging men. You see, as Foucault says, power is immanent in all social relations, and all social relations are relations of power. That means we have created a kind of a structure where power was the propelling force of that structure. And in this binary opposition of man and women, also we find power inherently involved in the process. You see, the fundamental question that needs to be discussed and understood is that who has the right to decide one's sexual preferences, choices, and sexual orientation. When we understand things in binary opposition of men and women, see, the third gender or the gender that is not openly man or woman gets annihilated, gets relegated to the margins of the page or margins of the history. You see, LGBTQ, that is the current term, has not been so much tabooed in the ancient times. We find in Vatsan Kam Sutra the reference of Swarnini. Swarnini means lesbians, and it is there. He is not judgmental, he is not prescriptive, rather he says it is a fact and it should be taken as a fact, and they were allowed to live their normal life and even raise children. It was for the first time when Victorian morality was imposed on Indian soil, that in 1861, for the first time, homosexuality and lesbian relationships were criminalized in Indian Penal Code under section 377. It was considered a criminal activity, and by the logic that any kind of unnatural sex should be banned. It is unnatural and that should be, it offends moral behavior of the society. It threatens to create havoc in the society, and it should be banned. We find in medieval India references of homosexuality and lesbian relationships, and they were not being judged, they were not being talked openly. We find references, but they were accepted facts as a way of life. As men are there, women are there, so are these people with different orientation. They are normal people with just different orientation, and as the matter of individual right, they should be given the right to choose their partners, to choose their orientation and choose their choices. But the problem is we are judgmental. As a society, we try to impose our worldview to everyone else, and we believe that everyone else should follow our norm, and that is the problem. We have just visited, or we have watched US elections where abortion law was hotly debated topic. The same prescriptive vision of the society is there. Who should have the final right to have abortion? State, individual, or the society? We all remember that Sunita was dead just because in Ireland doctor decided not to abort her. Why? Because they said she was on the verge of death and abortion was needed, but the doctor said that we can't abort because it is a Catholic country, and the patient or the lady was dead. So you see, ultimately we have to understand that who has the ownership of the body. If a female is there, if a lady is there, he has the final say in her personal matters, in the matters of her body. And when we are talking about all these things, we have to understand our limits, the limits of society as well as states, how much penetrative states should be. So these are matters that need to be understood, need to be debated in classrooms and in seminars, so that we should be open about all these things and we should have a healthy discussion. When actually the morality, sense of morality gets offended very soon. We are we can't discuss this thing and this thing, and that's why the word sufferers are those who do not have their voices. What Gayatri Spivak says, that can the subalterns speak? Actually, there's no problem that subalterns don't speak. They speak quite loud, in a quite loud way, but the problem is with the structure. Their speech, their cry is interpreted, is understood and is perceived in such a way that they are not properly heard. Even then, even when they speak, they are not heard. The question is not whether they speak or not. The question is whether they are heard properly or not. Because when we try to interpret those voices, marginalized voices, voices from the below, whatever you may call, they are interpreted by those structures of patriarchy, those structures of, domination and subjugation that do not give them proper space to be understood. And that is the real problem. We need a kind of society, inclusive, understanding and sympathetic to everyone, where these things should be understood in proper way. You see, even we have objectified our women. That is the real problem. I often quote in my classrooms that when a husband and wife, means there is an instance where husband and wife both go to the doctor or maybe a policeman, both are illiterate, and then policeman asks, कौन किया है, क्या हुआ था, and woman starts to tell the story, and the husband interrupts, sir वो चोर आया था just last. Then the woman starts answer it, and then husband says नहीं sir मैं बताता हूँ. फिर he starts telling the story. Then policeman asks another question, woman starts telling, but then husband answers. Husband says, policeman says that let her answer, उसको बोलने दो, मैं उससे सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ. अरे साहब वो कहाँ जाने, वो तो नहीं जानती, कम जानती है. पुलिस वाला कहता है तुम कौन से PhD हो. When you are on both grounds, both are on equal grounds, then obviously she should have also the opportunity to speak what she speaks and what she understands. We need as a society to understand and listen what she says, not what her husband and other family members say. Thank you very much.